Hello, everybody. I'm Jalen, and today we're just going to make a whole bunch of progress in this cave that we started in the last episode here. Pretty much just picking up where we left off. I'll be doing some little details on some of the things we built last time, and I'm going to have a big focus on getting this ground level situated down here. I did spend some time between episodes kind of planning out a little waterfall system, river system down there that we'll be jumping in here in just a second. And I also did a little clearing out of the building here so I can get going on an interior, which I will be doing here this episode. But my main mission is to really get this ground level going here a little bit. And like I said, between episodes, I got a cool little river system planned out, just extending the system we got going above here. And I know I've said it many times, I love me a good water system, and I love filling up the water is one of the more satisfying things in the game, and I think this really brought the area together down here, and I enjoyed putting it together here. I really like having the water drop slowly and pool up at the different levels. Unfortunately, I had quite a few video clips not want to upload this episode, so there's a few areas that kind of miss a few things, and this was one of the main ones where I went around and filled this whole area up with some moss, and it really made a difference. Especially with the river here, I really like how we got things mapped out. And then I got going on the big project of getting a path established, which I know I did a good amount of in the last episode as well, but working in a cave, especially when you're just kind of building the path along the wall there, it ends up being such an important part of the structure, even more than usual. And yeah, just every little bit of path I add just really brings the area together, and I think it ends up looking really cool. I do end up going with the white theme. I was thinking of maybe changing the colors of this area a little bit down here, but I figured for this whole main cave area, I'm just going to stick with the color scheme I got going, and I think it ends up looking really cool. And we'll get some buildings kind of built into the walls back here, but that'll be something we'll do a little later. It looks really good from up here as well. I'm going to put another portal in the wall right here, and at this point I actually decided I kind of wanted to see where we spawned in, so I went down and just put a temporary portal in for the moment. Then when I jumped in, I realized that it brought us all the way to the portal of our treehouse area, so I didn't want that to happen. Jump back in to see where it brought us out, and yeah, it brought us out at the treehouse area, so that would be nice if I was looking for a real quick one-way trip to the treehouse area, but I'm trying to have its own portal. So I jumped back in and went to the coordinates of my cave portal and divided it by 8 to match it up in the nether, and just created my own portal in the nether and jumped in, hoping it would bring me back into the cave, which it did. And that's really cool, being able to go back and forth so quick and jump back in, hoping it pops us back in our new portal in the nether, and then we'll be all linked up and good to go, which it did. But the main reason I was going to the nether was because I needed a few materials, one of the main ones being warped wood, because I'm definitely going with that as part of this color scheme. And I needed a whole bunch of quartz, so I got a bunch of that as well. And then I was going to bring another thing over from Season 1, which I've been trying to not do. And speaking of Season 1, we came across our spawn portal up here, which it's really tempting to jump in there. I haven't been to spawn since I was last there with you guys. And I realize I haven't shown you the day count in a while here, and we are at day 2239, so we've essentially been here 340 days, so I got 160 days left before I can think about going back to spawn. But what I'm going to go ahead and bring over from Season 1 is I'm going to go ahead and just use the same nether fortress. I didn't feel like hunting down a nether fortress, and I just wanted a little bit of blaze powder so that I can cure a villager if I need to. And then when I was running to jump back in the portal, I got really lucky here because I didn't realize my gold helmet broke, and if there would have been more piglins around, that would have been real bad. But got pretty lucky there, and then I was ready to get back to work, and I actually ended up putting up the walls and the finishing the roof on the buildings up there before I got going on the interior, but then I realized I was going to need some materials, and also I was at level 35, so I wanted to go ahead and use a few levels before I end up dying and losing them all like I've done a few times already. So, got a fortune axe. I like to have a fortune axe, and then I got efficiency on a book to combine with pickaxe, so I can have efficiency 5, and combined a couple things up. And then while I was over, I went to my tree chopping area and chopped a good amount of wood. Never enough. I do have a few wood trips that I don't show you, but the main reason I was out here was to get some kelp, because I'm going to be building an elevator and I need to use some kelp to make the water blocks full source blocks. And I was also going to need a whole bunch of snow, so I made a trip up into the mountains here. And right at sunrise, I came over the crest of this hill and had a really cool view here that I haven't seen yet. Really cool angle of the mountain here, nice steep peak. I was kind of liking this area, so I figured if I'm going to be clearing some snow anyway, I'd go ahead and kind of work towards getting a path cleared out if I ever want to come up here and build, because this is a pretty cool little hilltop here. Yeah, now we got if I do come up here and want to build sometime, I got a cool little path with a great view of the mountain out here. Then we hop back down, and like I said, we got the walls put up and finished the roof here, so now we're ready to jump into getting this interior going. Over here is where our elevator is going to be. And then back against this wall, I ended up adding a whole bunch to my project here and ended up extending the building back here quite a bit, and decided to have a little bit of a central storage area, which I haven't even built in this world at all yet, really, for the most part. And so we just got extended back, and we can always extend it more if we need to over time. But I think this ends up being plenty of room to have some chests and get a good bulk of things stored. Nothing too fancy, but like I said, we can keep extending if we need to, and I think it looks pretty nice. I'm really liking the white theme with the quartz, and I just kept at it. Got some floors put in. I replaced the wood floor in here. I thought it looked better with the stone combo, and we did get our elevator built. This is another point where I lost a good amount of the clips, so we will be revisiting that here in a second though anyway. And yeah, like I said, I just really like the structure that these quartz arches are creating, and I just kept going with that theme. And then I want this building to just be a nice, efficient building, so I put all the useful crafting blocks right in the middle here, so this will just be a nice place to go when I need to get organized. I poked a window in the wall here and used a little change up of color. And speaking of color, got a few paintings going around. But I still had my whole living area to get built up here. Got a nice big bed, even though I'll never use it, living in the cave down here. And pretty much extended the storage into this area as well, and this will kind of be where I dump things off, and as these chests fill up, I'll move stuff from them over into the bigger storage area. So this will be the one-stop shop. And on a whim, I decided to put a little fish tank into this wall here. I did this once before in one of my really old worlds, and it was really cool, and it's got me excited to do a bigger one. I just don't have I need to get it to a coral reef and get the tropical fish to really be inspired to make a nice big one, but this works for now and fills the wall here with something a little more unique than just another painting or anything like that. I think it looks really cool, even with the salmon and the cod and just the normal seagrass. And we got our little living area looking really cool here. And like I said, nice efficient base of operations to just come and get organized on things. And I think the storage area back here actually looks real nice. But we did get our elevator installed here, and yeah, like I said, unfortunately the clip of me putting in the soul sand here and the kelp just didn't want to upload for whatever reason, but we did make the project and got a nice tall water elevator all the way up to the surface level up here. We'll put a cool building here at some point and move on from there. But I thought it'd be cool for the drop down here if I replaced some of the stones with some glass so that I could actually kind of see my big cave as I fall into the base down here. And so I got replacing some of the deep slate up here with some light blue glass. And this actually ended up being one of the coolest accidental discoveries I've had in Minecraft. Just that one single block open to the sky at the top of the pillar there brings in either daylight or the night light from nighttime and just makes a really cool pillar over here. Just that super bright blue, and it just looks awesome. And it's a way to see the daylight in your cave. Because do a little magic trick and wait until nighttime here, and you'll see it's dark at nighttime. So that's just a really cool way to get a difference in the daylight and nighttime in the cave, because if you don't have that, you never know if it's night or day up there. So I imagine I'll be wanting to add a couple more of those. Yeah, I thought I'd take you for the drop. It goes by really fast, but I think was worth it. And at this point, I just wanted to start going around and doing some random details on some of the stuff we've built so far. We have the gazebo over here, and I just don't quite know how I want to go about that yet. I will do something there, but put it on the back burner for now. Go ahead and start by just finishing my warped wood fence along the path here, which did end up being quite a bit of warped wood I needed, which I hate gathering in the nether, but unfortunately I've taken on that battle since I am going to need a good amount of warped wood just building this whole cave up. And then I got going on some street lights, and rather than just going normal street lights, I went with these little arches here, just because when I think of an Elven theme, which is what I'm trying to go with here, I think of arches like this. I'm kind of being inspired by Skyrim, without even going and looking at it or anything. It's just kind of what I remember, arches like this for the Elven ruins. And at the intersections, I kind of combine four together, and I can come back and put some of the oxidized copper roofs on or something at any time and make it even more structurally sound, but I think they end up looking pretty cool as is. And yeah, I just went around and placed a few arches and really start to bring the Elven theme to the base more and more all the time. Definitely look a lot cooler than just random street lights. But a good detail session I got going on here was working on these terraces. Just wanted to make them look a little more natural and cooler, so I brought in some greenery, and just bringing in the brighter stone really makes a difference. So I brought in some of the mossy stone and some moss just to add a little color around here, and then I went around and with some deep slate stairs and just shaped up the stone that's holding up the terraces a little bit, and it really made a difference. Not only the slight change in color, a little darker, but just making the shape a lot better. And then, as always, just adding that greenery for the final touch really made a difference and brought it together. And I think this is a really cool area at this point. But another project I wanted to do was get a path going all the way up to my tree farm area up there. So I thought this area looked like a good spot that I could just start extending a path winding up the hill here. Took a good amount of digging and mapping out and getting it all planned out, but yeah, we'll just have it come from up here and drop down here, and then stairs all the way down. And once you get it mapped out, you just get to work placing the blocks. Went around with my border as always, and then I ended up extending that along the tree farm up here, which I wasn't planning on doing at first, but I figure I've gone this far with it, might as well just make it all fit together, and I'm definitely glad I did. It looks really nice. And I put a little path going through my tree farm up here, and I cleared out a bunch of the moss carpet because it was stopping trees from growing, so that was a little bit of a project. But yeah, I got our path put in, and eventually we'll have it extend out here with a bridge across, and then have it work its way up to exit to the surface, and maybe even extend it to be a upper level, build it into this wall over here. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but yeah, we got the tree farm looking pretty cool up here, and I actually decided that I'm going to go big with my tree farm and extend it all the way back into this giant cave that we found in the last episode. I figure I've got so many cool cave areas like this. Like, this is a really awesome cave area that I would have never thought of wanting to just fill with a tree farm, but I've got so much to work with in this cave system here that I think I could do something really cool, turning that into just a nice foresty area with a few buildings, of course. But yeah, got our path put in here, winding down the mountain, and like I said, the path just ends up being such a big part of the structure of the cave itself. When you're just building along the walls like that, the paths are just super important all the time, but in the cave even more than usual. And yeah, put little extensions onto the farm terraces, make them easier to reach. And we got things just looking really good. Got to look at this area again. I think this just came out so nice. And we got our waterfall poked through so that it's dropping down to the bottom level at this point. And yeah, that was a nice little detail session there. Just always go back to your old projects and just do little bits at a time. And something I've been wanting to do was just knock this door out. And I've been procrastinating, but I go ahead and do it here. And I'm just going to go doorless. And I end up going with that theme around this whole area. I think it's just cool. It's a lot more interesting to see the interior there than just a birch door. So I ended up liking how that was and ended up carrying that with me down to this level, which is where we're going to start putting some buildings into these walls here. Finally get going on this level down here, and I'm just going to step out of the way for a second and let you watch it develop a bit. And I really like what we got going down here. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing the interior today. I'll be going over my plans for down here in just a second a little bit, but while I'm in such a good build mode, I went ahead and put a couple big arches in the middle here, just kind of as a centerpiece for the area and to give a little height down here. Now, this is probably something that I'll end up switching out in the future just because this little area in the center here really is calling for a cool centerpiece. So I'll probably do something cooler here, either a statue or some kind of fantasy tree or something of the sort. But for now, I think the arches go with the theme really well and look really good. I finally took all the skulk away from this pillar, which I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I think it looks better. Then I went around and planted a few cherry trees just because I thought the pink would look really good, and I definitely was glad I brought the pink down here, and I ended up going a little crazy with it actually and just spreading it all over the place, and I think it's a really good contrast to the colors we got going on so far. And I put a good amount of pink bushes, but I think it really brings the area together. I couldn't be happier with how this area is looking so far. I'm honestly pretty proud of myself, I gotta say. I've just really had good focus over these last couple weeks, and we've built a lot over the last 2 episodes here. And I'm just really liking everything about it. And my plans for down here is have the 2 outside buildings be homes for some stonemasons, and then the center building I'm going to have a smelter in and just a general stone shop. But this is going to kind of be my stonemason area so that I can get a bunch of quartz, because quartz is something I'm not having near enough of, and I really don't like going in the nether looking for it. It's pretty tedious and takes a long time. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how the area's come together down here. The pink really makes a big difference, and I can't say enough, the arches in the middle, I really starting to bring that Elven idea that I'm going for. But I thought it'd be fun to hop into creative mode here. So I am in a creative copy of the world right here, and I'm not trying to keep any secrets from you. I do this quite often, hop into creative mode and just step back and visualize things a little bit, and it's just such a cool view. I figured no reason to keep it away from you guys. And it'd be a good way just to really give you a good perspective of the whole area here. So yeah, you can just see how much work we've done. 2 episodes I'm very happy with, and just how cool this good view of the waterfall system we got going up here into our crop farm and our tree farm up here. And do a little fly around just to really give you an idea. I know I've done a tour of the cave system a couple times, but this will really show you just how close everything is. You got this huge cave back here, which I'm really looking forward to a tree farm project back there. And obviously the big main area, which will be just filling up these walls and this whole level up here. There's our new stairway, which really looks cool over there, winding up the mountain. And goes all the way back here, which I'll extend probably the same theme I'm building with right now, kind of back into this area here. But one area that I don't think I've really shown you at all yet is this deep dark area that we got down here that is also just really cool. And I'm looking forward to doing something in here and really embracing the darkness and I think some bright colors popping off it. There's definitely some potential to do something cool. And lastly, just to show you how close things are, just come back here a little bit. We'll get a path extended here, and right through this little hole in the wall is where we're going to have our big dwarven area, which is probably what I'm looking forward to the most. I've kind of been going through in my head with ideas, and I feel like I've got a pretty good visualization of what I want to do down here, and this is definitely a very cool area. I'll need to get it all lit up for you to actually see it, but yeah. With that, we're going to go ahead and call it an episode here. As always, I really appreciate you all for coming, especially those of you that stuck it out till the bitter end here, and yeah, have a good day.